So that bulkhead is now all epoxied at the bottom here. So we've put obviously this panel in here, epoxied that in, and then also epoxied to the floor here, and also around the moulding here that sort of comes up through from the master cabin, so you can see just there. So that's all been now epoxied into place. Bit of a mess at the moment, so what we'll do now is just blast that with the sander, and that'll tidy that up no end. There's a few staples in here that I need to get rid of, and Richard is just making a piece to go in here, and then the plan is to get this all, we've sanded it once actually already, but we'll get this sanding finished off, and then we can get this bottom section all glassed into place. And then also there's a little bit of glass in here that needs tidying up, so we'll just grind this back. You can see here, look, it's routed out, ready for glass. So that glass work should have come really all the way down here. So what we'll do is we'll tidy that up, grind that off, and then we'll be able to glass that in with the chop strand mat and biaxial. We've got this piece up here now, that's all fully glassed in, a couple more layers of biax, and that looks a lot tidier now than it did. I wasn't that happy with the way that had turned out, but now that now looks great. Again, just needs a quick sand. And also this structure now, this frame on here on the underside of the deck is all now tabbed into place. We've got these tabs both sides, chop strand and biax holding that into place, so that is not going anywhere. And we've also managed to get some biax, get the camera up here as well, so we've got some sections of biax in there as well. So this really is truly solid, which it needs to be because we're going to be hanging the cupboards on there, so that is all good. So what we'll do now, get this all sanded and prepped, get that piece made there, and then we can look to get the remainder of this bulkhead glassed into place. So this is all now sanded, this bulkhead, all the bottom, and we've got this nice and smooth now. So you can see that that is all nice and flat. That feels lovely and smooth, so that's great. Sanded all the way up here as well, and then Richard has added this piece of ply in here and epoxied that into place. We've also sanded this stringer all the way into the corner, all the way up to here. We had some bad glass here, so that's all now being ground away, so we can get some biax in here. We've also knocked out this section here of the bulkhead, which has basically got just a knockout cut out into it, so you could basically just knock that through, which is what we've done, and we think that is for ventilation pipes, fairly short, or air conditioning, one of the two. And then we've also got these marks again. So we've got a cross up here, look, and then we've got what looks like a Batman sign on its side. No idea what that's for. Anybody know? Let us know in the comments. Cross, we think maybe the top of the cupboards is all we can think. But again, anybody know? Let us know in the comments. So that bulkhead now is all ready, sanded up here as well. Forgot to say that, and across here. So yeah, that is all looking pretty good. And then on this side, Richard has been tackling this, so he's sanded all the way down here, and we've got another layer of biax on to go on there just to make sure that is nice and strong. And then we've also sanded in here as well, so that's all ready now to be glassed in there as well. So I think what we're going to do first is we're going to get this piece here glassed into place. This is kind of our new favourite mat really, so we're using a chop strand mat stitched onto a biax, and it's 850 on the biax and 400 on the chop strand mat. Eats resin, so we used an absolute ton of resin doing that there, but it is easier than trying to do it in chop strand, and potentially stronger as well. So we will be doing everything that's structural in that from now on. So next we've got this side to do. So this is back of the wardrobe, or going to be the wardrobe, and then we're just working at the back here. So we've got the bed moulding. So this is the master cabin bed moulding, comes around here. Bulkhead sits on that. So what we need to do now is just get that all sanded here, so we can get that piece glassed onto the stringer there. And then also we have got to put a base in here as well. So we'll be building a ply base to go in here with a hole in the middle so we can get access. And then that just means then that we can be able to, when we make the wardrobe unit, we'll be able to slide that onto the base. We'll be able to have a removable bottom, and we'll always be able to get into here, because potentially if we have air conditioning, don't know whether we will or we won't, those pipes will need to come in through that bulkhead there. They'll come up through here, up through the back, and then that goes through there into the saloon. So that's the routing, we think, for the air conditioning as the factory would have done it. So yeah, we'll get all this rubbed down now, get that all prepped, and I'll cut the piece to go in the bottom here. So Richard's had the pleasure of a couple of hours of lovely sanding on this bulkhead. He's got all of the old glass sort of smoothed down nicely, and then he's also sanded all of this stringer here and also onto the hull, and he's done that all the way down to the floor, down to the base here. I've cut this piece of birch ply with a hole in it, so that's now acting as the base for the wardrobe, so we'll be able to get that bonded into place, and that means the wardrobe can sit on there, but we can still access pipes and electrics, etc., anything that we need to get underneath there. I've also sanded all that bulkhead, so that's all cleaned up now, and we've got our workbench back in place, which is really nice to have because we were struggling for space a little bit. And then we need to get this final part of the floor down, but before we can do that, we know we've got a bit of an issue down in this floor, so I'll just move these ladders. So when we first bought the boat, we had some guys come in and fitted some mouldings in the back, moulded us some bed mouldings and put a floor in. The only thing is that the floor, when they did it, they put a little piece of wood in here, unprotected, to actually carry the floor. So it's been glass from the top, can't really see it very well, but in here it's been glass from the top. But yeah, there was just this piece of bare wood underneath here holding this floor up, so what I've had to do is knock that off, unscrew it, knock it off. It was held on with Sikaflex, and then just working in here trying to sand all of this. Really not easy. Been using the finger sander actually, which has been brilliant because it's so tight in here. So just in the process of getting all this cleaned up, so I just need to finish off a little bit, and then we'll be able to put some biax cloth up there. Okay, and we are all glassed in. So we've run that bandage all the way down into here, and then we've also glassed inside here as well. So glassed this base here, glassed all this moulding in, and if I just turn the camera around, also inside here as well, so all the way down into that corner there. So that's now also pinning that all of that moulding into place as well, and all this bulkhead is all now tied together. So that is now, I think we can consider that done. And then also we did down inside the bilge as well. So this was awful, sanding in here and then just trying to squeeze in here and glass with a mask on and a suit on was just plain unpleasant, but it is now done. So, or mostly, come back to that in a minute. So we've got this piece here now is all wrapped underneath, so that where the bulkhead comes down now onto this framework, and this floor is all tied together. We've put some extra glass in here just to reinforce all of this. We will be flow coating this and tidying all this up, and then underneath here now we've got some, you can see we've got some glass here and some glass here, just tying all of this floor together now, so that is all now absolutely solid. Obviously our little timber block that was in there before is gone. The only thing I did forget to do, which is my fault, is the end of this is timber, and the end of this timber needs coating in some resin and glass, so we'll do that. And also we've just been talking and we're going to see if we can get a little bit of glass right up there in that top corner underneath the floor there, just to tie everything together. So probably a finger sander if we can get in, and then a bit of a bandage up there, and that should sort that, and then we can look at flow coating inside this bilge area. Okay, that's going to be a wrap for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.